Hello and welcome to the Gold Newsletter channel. Hello and welcome to the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. We're here at the Convention Center in downtown Vancouver. My name is Kai Hoffman. I'm the @JR Mining guy over on X. And together with our good friend Brian London, I'm the host of the Gold Newsletter channel. And I'm joined by Nathan Harte. Nathan, it's great to have you on. You're with Avino Gold and Silver. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Great to be here.
You kicked the year off well. I've seen a couple of news releases come out.
Yeah, we started off with a bang. Some good permitting news out of Mexico. Obviously, that's a good and a hot topic right now, and it just shows that the Mexico's back on the map.
We'll get to Preciosa. I said it properly, right?
La Preciosa, yeah. La Preciosa. However,
there we go.
There we go.
I try to put a
little
Spanish
bit of an
spin on
accent.
it. A little bit. You know,
My Spanish
we try.
is okay.
We try.
Yeah.
But let's recap 2024 real quick before we get ahead of ourselves here.
Sure.
How did 2024 go for you?
Quite well. The fourth quarter, obviously, financials aren't out yet, but we did put out that we were sitting on about $26 million in cash at the end of the year, and that's essentially tripled in a quarter, which is fantastic. And then obviously, good operational year for Avino. We'll put out our production coming out just now, but we got some good results to show.
No, fantastic. What were some of the bottlenecks you had to go through last year, and something you really excelled at?
A few challenges in the middle of the year, but came through that again in the last kind of 4 or 5 months. Was hit good throughput rates and mill availability, which is obviously a key part of mining. And then other than that, we had some just getting through the permitting process, and then put that out last week that we got the underground mining permits for La Preciosa. So that is going to be our second mine in just about 15-20 kilometers away from Avino. So we're looking forward to getting another mine in production.
Yeah, I want to stay on 2024 for just a minute longer here, but what really helped you generate that cash pile? What really turned the things around here?
I mean, metal prices were decent. There's things that were kind of a headwind in 23 and early 24 really turned the other way. A strong USD compared to peso helped us. Good sequencing at the mine and mill availability. And our team does a fantastic job at keeping costs in check too, so our margins are going to be pretty significantly improved, especially as we come out with Q4.
No, fantastic. Yeah. Really looking forward to those numbers to come out. Financials, you mentioned to me just off air, March, I think you mentioned?
Yeah, we're looking around early to mid-March, just probably right after PDAC.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. That sounds great. Let's get to 2025.
2025.
What are the plans? You just got air permits and other permits for Las Preciosas. What does that look like?
Yeah, so we are now permitted to mining, blasting, whatever you want to call it. So we're breaking ground essentially right now. We've only got about 350 meters of development to do. We've got the necessary equipment already. Most of it was already kind of around and pre-ordered. Just a few things that we need to come to site. But the goal is, we'll be developing probably just about 3 to 4 months and start hauling ore out as early as Q2, Q3 this year.
Phenomenal. Run us a bit through the KPIs for the new mine, production, throughput, things like that, cost guidance if you have it put out, but curious.
Yes, we haven't put out cost guidance yet, so I won't speak to that. And obviously, as we get through the ramp-up phase, it'll be a little up and down.
Let's use internal study or study cost assumptions.
For sure, yeah. I mean, the goal is that La Preciosa will bring down our all-in costs. I mean, we operate at about $20, $21 right now, and we want to get into the teens. So that's likely to happen from La Preciosa. We're going to start at a smaller throughput and then ramp up as we go. We're just assessing some internal plans right now to essentially add another portal. Given the decent cash position, we actually have some more capital to deploy there. But that's the start. Is we want to get up to close to 500 tons a day, and then that'll be then where we'll look at the next stage of growth.
Oh, fantastic! What does exploration look like right now when you talk about growth?
At Avino, we've got some drilling put aside in our that's been approved for our budget. So we've got a couple of targets deeper at the Avino mine, where we saw, I think in 23 we put out it was the best intercept in company history. It was something like 400 grams of silver equivalent over 55, 60 meters. So we're doing a bit more of that style drilling underground, below the system, never been explored. And then we're going to do some more grassroots stuff. We're going to look at La Preciosa even and see what else hasn't been explored. Because when Coeur did their initial work on it, they were looking at a giant open pit and looked at the big veins. We think there's some other potential there, so we want to look at that.
Fantastic. Let's zoom out a little bit, and maybe pardon the question, but what's the business plan for Avino?
Organic growth. Yeah, that's the plan. We have a plan to get to 8 to 10 million silver equivalent ounces by 2029. So that's pretty lofty. That'd be essentially a triple in production, almost a quadruple, I guess, in 4 to 5 years. So that's really the goal. We think we can do it with minimal dilution with the projects we already have. And we'll use, ideally cash flow to fund a lot of it, and we may look for some help along the way. But we've got a lot of options now, and don't really need necessarily to go to the markets at this time.
Get a little more granular for me. Like, what does that look like? How are you going to get to the 8 to 10 million? Like,
Sure.
we discussed exploration a little bit, but break that down for us. Like, where is it coming from, and what could be the capex for that, or the cost?
For sure. So starting with Preciosa, if we get to 500 tons per day, then the next stage, we just want to grow incrementally from there. And we'd look at a bit of a mill expansion at our current facility at Avino. So we think we can, get anywhere, 6, 7, 8 million ounces just from those two operations. And then we also have the oxide tailings project, which is the historical waste, if you want to call it, 0.5 gram gold and 50 gram silver waste at Avino. That we got about 7 million tons of that. That's actually a mineral reserve. We did a PFS on that in middle of 24. So the idea is to move that one forward and build a dynamic leaching operation. So capex on that and that one's only $50 million.
50 or 15?
50. Yeah, so obviously you may look for a bit of help with that one, but at this time, the goal is to fund as much as possible from cash flow.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Yeah. Sounds great. How long did it take to get the permit?
Ooh.
I'm curious. I'm trying to get a bit of a sense.
Yeah, no,
a bit of sense for the permitting environment in Mexico right now.
So we acquired Preciosa. It closed in 2022, and then you have to get basically a land use agreement with the communities before you can even submit your environmental permit. So we got that in January of 2024. So I guess it's about a year from beginning of the actual permit submission, I guess, if you want to say. And then, a year from submission to completion and approval. And that was an environmental permit, water, blasting, so all encompassing. So there's various
reasonable.
stages. Yeah, it wasn't not too bad.
I'm just trying to get a sense for the environment in Mexico
100%.
right now. I hear very different things even here at the conference. I'm just trying to get a sense of how you experience that.
Yeah, I think it's more administrative than it used to be for sure, and just stringent requirements. But again, it's, with changes in government, it's still the same people going through approval processes. It's still the same people and contacts that we have. So not that a lot of that hasn't changed. I would think, for an open pit project, I'd remain a bit nervous, I guess. But we're, for an underground mining operation, and we got it permitted to the right size that we want to eventually be at. So we're pretty happy with our result.
Yeah, no, absolutely, you have to be. Are you ruling out acquisitions at all?
Never ruling anything out. No, I think we're focused on organic growth, but we know there's obviously a lot of good projects still in Mexico, and some people are a little maybe put off by Mexico or have been over the last couple of years, but there's a lot of potential still out there. But we're focused on what we have for now.
Yeah, let's talk silver a little bit.
Yes.
You want the silver market? How is it? How does it work for you? How does it work for Avino? How are you selling your silver?
So we are unhedged, all three metals. Silver is our primary metal, but again, we produce copper and gold as well. Most of our contracts are, we settle next month. We don't get into the whole speculation of it. We produce and sell. There's times where we'd consider holding some back for a future price, but it's not something that's in our general business plan. I think our long-term view on silver is very bullish. I wouldn't, we're not talking $100 silver this year. That's not what we're looking for. 30 is a good price. 40 would be a great price. 50 would be an even better price. We're happy making money at this point too.
What's your metals mix? If you by revenue right now, and how will it change for the year?
And that will transition too, for sure. So right now it's about 40 to 45% silver, about the equivalent of that for copper as well, and then about 15 to 20% gold. And as we transition more to Preciosa, that silver comes up and the copper actually decreases. We're expecting to be close to about 50% for 2025, and long term it's 65-70% of silver, because Preciosa is about a 90% silver asset, 10% gold, no copper.
No. Why no hedges?
We see a lot of upside. We're all bullish on silver as well too, and it's our primary metal. We don't think investors would take too kindly to us just hedging the primary metal, and our equity moves with the price of silver.
Have you thought about is sort of founding a silver OPEC?
I mean, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean the supply of silver the supply demand it's one of those things that's a hot topic, and it's only getting stronger in the favor of the miners, I think. So I think there's a lot of squeeze to be happening there.
I had Andy Schechtman sitting in your chair earlier this morning, and we were talking about that, like with supply and demand. I haven't seen the Silver Institute forecast for 2025 yet. Yeah. I'm guessing it's $200 million deficit again because why change it?
Yes. Maybe a little more, hopefully. But yeah, I think, there comes a point where there's only so much silver, and it's not like the production is growing for that many companies. A lot of the companies are trying to find new mines. So we'll see.
Who are you selling to again? Sorry, I asked you earlier, but
no, that's a good question. We actually sell directly to Samsung. Their commodities and trading division goes in electronics.
So it goes straight to Korea?
It goes out of Manzanillo and then over on a ship up to smelter there. We get paid as soon as it gets to the port in Mexico or in Manzanillo. So they go to a few different smelters, I believe. But yeah, that's our primary buyer, and then obviously some few other groups as well on a spot basis.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Nathan, what are you most excited about for 2025?
For Avino specifically, let's see, La Preciosa. Yeah, we're to bring another mine into production. You look at the timeline of how we're going to have from acquisition to first production is going to be about 3.5, 4 years. And you think of other companies trying to bring a silver project online. A lot of the legwork was already done for us. Coeur, Pan American, Lewisman, they spent almost $100 million drilling this thing up for us. There was a feasibility study on this at one point. So we're taking a different approach at it, but we had a unique value proposition that no one else could really offer with an operating mill right nearby.
Yeah, no, fantastic.
So we're excited to move that project forward. That's number one.
Nathan, just to recap, what are the next catalysts, next news items that we can expect from Avino?
Yeah, so production will be out probably when this comes out, which will be fairly strong. We talked about, financials will be in March. We'll put out our 2025 guidance and outlook for Avino and La Preciosa in a few weeks, so call it late January, early February. And then after that, it's just continuing to deliver on our production and milestone promises and continuing to make money. Yeah, we want to continue building the treasury and redeploying that and moving our projects along further.
Fantastic. Nathan, thank you so much for joining us here in Vancouver at our booth. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in here to the Gold Newsletter from the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. If you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out tremendously. Also, leave a like, leave a comment. What do you think about Avino? Should they be holding back silver? What do you think? And let us know down below. We do want to hear from you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back with lots more here from Vancouver. Thank you.